Bang oi, Phuc Mob Day. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. And today's episode has me extremely excited. Why is that? Well, we're talking about coffee. I've drank coffee since probably high school, but after moving to Vietnam 7 years ago, I became an addict. Mainly because Vietnam is the second largest exporter in the world. So there are plenty of choices when it comes to coffee here. In today's vlog, I'm going to be introducing the 4 main coffee chains here in Vietnam. And before you go in the comments, I'm not saying they're the best, I'm not saying they are the fanciest. All I'm saying is, as a person who's lived in Vietnam for 7 years, I think of these places when I think of coffee. Luckily, all of these cafes are within walking distance of my house, so let's get started. Xin chào. Cho anh một ly cà phê đền đá, không đường, size nhỏ. Cảm ơn. All right, everyone, we made it to the first spot. This is Trung Nguyen Legend, probably the most famous cafe in Vietnam, mainly because they also sell beans and it's much higher. I think he said 48 for a black coffee, no sugar. Most places are 35 to 40. This is a taste I've become accustomed to in Vietnam. When I think of Café Phin, if you're not familiar with that, it's a very popular way of making coffee here. They pha cafe, they make it in the phin, and that's the taste that I'm used to. It actually tastes a bit different than, let's say, the coffee house or something else. But to me, that is the Vietnam taste. Not saying it's the best, it just makes me think of a phin as soon as I drink it. As for the history of this company, it was founded in 1996 in Buôn Ma Thuột. My sister-in-law is actually from Buôn Ma Thuột, so I've made a few trips up there. It's like the coffee center of Vietnam. Now, officially, from what I've read, Trung Nguyen is the largest domestic coffee producer in Vietnam, and they export to 60 countries. Another thing that I've come to see with this brand, obviously they have a lot of coffee beans for them to export to all those countries, but they also have what's called G7 coffee, and that is an instant coffee. My family drinks it. I mean, my wife's parents, when they come visit from America, they stock up and they bring bags of it back home. It's pretty good, but it's also very sweet. And as you can see in my order, generally I drink coffee black, no sugar. I like to get the real taste. And in today's video, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try all these coffee spots with a small cup of black, no sugar, to get the real taste and get a real comparison. On a side note, if you ever come to Vietnam, I recommend trying the Weasel coffee. And you say, Phuc Mob, well, why is it called Weasel coffee? Well, it's actually coffee made from poop of weasel. I've done a few videos about this before, and people like to get smart in the comments and say, it's not made from poop, it's made from the beans. But basically, to break it down, they take the coffee beans and they feed it to these weasels or civets, and they eat it, swallow it, they poop it out, and then they take it out. And supposedly their digestive tract like cleans off the beans and adds a different taste. I don't know. Like I said before, in my opinion, it tastes like shit. But regardless, this is a very popular place for it, and it is one of the most expensive coffees in the world. Hey bro.
Oh, Phuc Mob.
Wow, làm sao mà biết ăn được hả? Đánh đeo khẩu trang. Mọi người có khỏe không?
Dạ khỏe.
Khỏe hả? Cho anh một cà phê đen đá, không đường, size nhỏ, uống đây.
Nói tiếng Việt giỏi không ta?
Wow, cảm ơn nhiều. Tại sao em biết nói tiếng Việt? Tại sao em biết nói tiếng Việt hả?
Để sinh ra ok.
Oh, đã sinh ra ở đây, ok. Nhưng mà anh không sinh ra ở đây, đang học. Của anh không?
Dạ đúng rồi, của anh.
Sao em nhàn thế?
Đúng rồi.
Wow, chuyên nghiệp rồi. Em làm ở đây đúc bao lâu rồi?
Dạ 1 tuần.
1 tuần. 1 tuần thôi, 7 ngày.
Dạ đúng rồi.
Trời ơi, chuyên nghiệp luôn. Cảm ơn nhiều. Namden. How you doing today, man?
All right, buddy.
I asked him in advance, and he said out of the 4, this was his favorite.
Bro, this is super dang. Even with the milk, it's still really bitter.
Yes, yes.
What?
So it's kind of a mix for me. Like I've gone to Trung Nguyen. I said that one is very, it's a very traditional thin taste. Very thick in my mouth. Coffee House is more of an Americano style, more watery, you know, but still flavor. And then this is kind of in the middle, like literally Trung Nguyen Coffee House. This is in the middle location-wise, but taste-wise, it's still thick, it's still bitter, but it's better than Trung Nguyen in my opinion. So the cool thing about this cafe, it was established in 1998 in Hanoi, okay? This guy named David Thai. And supposedly, this is the first time that an overseas Vietnamese was able to register a business in Vietnam.
Wow.
And I'm sure you know now, like a lot of Viet Q have businesses here, right?
Businesses, yeah, even foreigners as well. To be honest with you, I've had different coffees in the past, and Trung Nguyen is like Vietnamese favorite coffee. But for me, I'm not a big fan.
No.
Their coffee is nice, don't get me wrong, but it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
It's not
No,
something
you mean a cup of coffee.
It's not my cup of coffee.
So this chain has 166 cafes just around Saigon.
Just around Saigon.
Just around Saigon, and 230 across all of Vietnam. So it's pretty big. Like, you know, I agree with you that Cafe Soda is good. It is very bitter here. But what I didn't know before this video is Highlands, they actually bought Pho 24. Have you seen that?
No.
Pho Hai Mui Bo.
I know, Pho Hai Mui Bo, yeah.
Yes, so they actually bought them. I didn't know
Really?
that. And then to add to that, there's another chain here known as Jollibee. You know Jollibee?
I know Jollibee.
Jollibee bought 50% of Highlands. Didn't know that either. The first 4 years, guys, they just did coffee beans. And then in 2002, they set up an actual cafe across from the Notre Dame Cathedral in District 1. In 2009, they came out with a ready-to-drink can. That Cafe Sueda, I will say, chin sak suot sak.
Never had that.
Somo. It's really good. I mean, it's like this,
It's like this.
in a can.
Okay.
But overall, guys, definitely a good spot to check out. Good atmosphere, friendly staff, as you saw. Hôm nay em có khỏe không?
Lâu quá cả.
Lâu quá không gặp. Ok, cảm ơn. All right, everyone, now we made it to the coffee house. Same street, and I have to say, when it comes to these places, I'm a little biased towards the coffee house, mainly because I spent a lot of time here. Why is that? Right down the street back here is my language center, which I've worked at for like 7 years. And when we get a 10 or 15-minute break from class, well, you better believe I run down here, grab a black coffee, bring it back just in time to start the next half of class. To give you guys a little background on this place, it was established in 2014 right here in Saigon. By 2018, they had 100 stores across Vietnam, and supposedly they served 40,000 customers a day. The owner talked about plans of having up to 700 cafes throughout Vietnam in the future, but we will see how that plays out. When it comes to the taste of their coffee, I would describe it as more refreshing. Places like Highlands and Trung Nguyen, they have a very thick coffee where I feel like I need to chug water after I drink it. Not saying the taste is bad, just the overall consistency of it is very thick. It's almost like I just ate candy or drank soda. But here, more on the Americano side, the Americano version, even though this isn't Americano, they have it on the menu, it's definitely more refreshing to drink overall. Yeah, come on, come on. Chúc mừng năm ơi. So we finally made it to the last place. This is Phúc Long. Phúc Long is actually known as a tea place, but they do coffee as well. This is like a watered down version of the Highlands. It has a different taste, for sure, but it's not as thick as Highlands, definitely not as thick as Trung Nguyen. One thing you'll notice when you walk in here, it is packed. Did you see how many delivery drivers there were?
So many.
People love this for tea. I mean, they have cha oolong, cha san. They have all these different kinds of tea. So as a tea spot, this is pretty famous. But again, they do have coffee, and it's not bad.
Yeah.
So out of all of the places we've done today, this is one of the oldest. It was founded in 1968.
Are you serious?
Yeah, in Bao Lao. Okay, that's when they first started getting the products for the tea and the coffee. And I guess Bao Lao is ideal when it comes to farming tea. I don't know, never farmed it, but I know around that area because Bao Lao. So when we were going to Dalat,
Yeah.
we stopped and got Bu Bo Hue there. That whole area is known as Tây Nguyên or the Central Highlands. During the 1980s, Phúc Long ended up opening 3 shops. One on Lê Văn Sĩ, one on Mạc Thị Bụi, and the other one was Trần Hưng Đạo. Okay, so they've been around, they've had shops for a while now. But now you can find them in basically every district.
Oh, wow.
But in 2007,
Yeah.
they actually bought a hill in Thái Nguyên. A hill that was good for coffee and tea, for farming. So they got this hill, and once they took possession of that, they opened up a factory in Bình Dương. Are you familiar with Bình Dương?
Of course.
Okay, so in Bình Dương, they started making their own products, hence why they're able to produce so many different coffee beans and so many different teas.
Nice.
The time has come to give a sort of rating to these. It may come as no surprise, but number 1 in my mind is Coffee House. Okay?
Really?
Yes. I think the
Better than
taste
Highlands?
way better than Highlands.
Wow.
Way better. So if I had to say it, I would say Coffee House is number 1 in my opinion. Number 2, I'm gonna go Phúc Long. Number 2 is Phúc Long.
man.
Yeah. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Number 3, don't worry. Number 3 is Highlands.
No
Okay?
way.
I like Highlands, but it is very bitter. It
Highlands
is
number
thick.
3.
It
No
is.
way,
It is.
bro.
Okay, and last, sorry everyone that's a fan, but last, in my opinion, is Trung Nguyên. Mặc dù mặt tiền nhất nhưng vẫn là, I don't want to say dở nhất, but không phải là yêu thích của Phúc. Even though it's the most
A
expensive.
lot of Vietnamese love that though.
Yeah, and really,
Vietnamese
it
love
comes
that.
down to what style you're into.
Yeah.
So if you guys like a thick, thin coffee, you'll like Highlands and Trung Nguyên. For me, even though I prefer like a straight black with no sugar, when it's really thick like that, I don't like how it sits in my mouth. I don't drink Pepsi or Coca-Cola anymore because, you know, I feel like I have this film all over my mouth when I finish. It just feels gross. Same thing with Trung Nguyên and Highlands. It just leaves this thick, syrupy feel in my mouth. Personally, not a fan. But as we said, the Café Soda at Highlands, it's good. I'll give you credit on that. All right, guys, that wraps up the coffee video for today. I'm curious to know your opinions on these 4 spots. Let me know down in the comments which one's your favorite and which one you don't like. Don't forget to check out Nam's channel, Afrovia TV, and of course, subscribe to Phuc Mot Vlog. We'll see you here next time. Hang up, Ply, and Chúc mừng năm mới!